Is Lex Fridman a fraud? Let's get into it. Hello, I'm Chris Lapadoulis, Stay Shopless. Tech Support said they're coming out Tuesday to close that portal. We'll see. Today I'm going to be reviewing, reacting to this Lex Fridman as a fraud. Now, the only reason I know about Lex Fridman is I watched this show early on because I'm kind of nerdy and he was getting into some nerdy stuff, and it was okay, but it was sort of like aimed at like, for someone being an MIT professor and all this other stuff and being really linked in with MIT and all this sciencey stuff, he'd be a little bit more above my level because I'm not a college graduate. I went for computer science. I didn't go into the science side because the math was too freaking hard. I got the calculus 3 and I was like, okay, I can't do anymore. I probably could have, but the situation at the time. Anyway. And he's like talking about stuff. It's like, yeah, I would think you'd be more, because I've been to college. I know what they talk like. I know how how the whole thing, how the conversation usually goes. This seems like sci-fi, popular mechanics level, the old, like dumbing it down super hard, dumbing it down, and also anthropomorphizing a lot of stuff and sci-fi aspect versus like what is actually, can you do with this? Or what are you actually doing? What are you actually talking about? And I was like, and then just full disclosure, he also like reached out to a bunch of people for doing hiring, for doing website stuff and also other like technical stuff like computer programming and some Python stuff. And like, as an MIT professor, this is what caught me. I was like, wait, what? Why is he reaching out to the general audience as opposed to linking into his MIT network? Because I've worked with MIT guys. They are all in a network. They all know each other and work with each other and pass stuff around. And it's a fraternity. If you've gone through that whole juggernaut, and or maybe not now, but like back when I was still talking to MIT folks, back when they were, graduates in the 90s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, maybe, was still like pretty hardcore place to have to go study. And anyone that graduated from there that really meant something. I don't think it's been like that for a while, but yeah. So I've run across these characters and they are intense, man. Like they're not just like light, fluffy. They're not fluffy. They're let's keep going.
Is Lex Fridman a fraud? By Dicey. I saw this on my favorite platform, Reddit, the other day, posted in r/videos, and I figured, why don't I save this for the stream? Now, I have many thoughts about Lex Fridman. Hopefully, we can springboard off of the commentary provided for us.
A total bro in a sense. Like, I may not look like it, but I have like a Rogan inside me. I really am a man's man, except for the times in like Harvard Square and academia.
The way you're talking doesn't sound like it. I've been around like that. I grew up in Maine, so I was like all around. This is the kinds of people who talk about the man's man. They don't talk like you, dude.
Yeah, it rubs off on me. But for the most part, man's man.
What does a man's man mean? May I?
There's just a list of stupid shit you do. Like, I like lifting heavy things.
He's like, you like lifting heavy things? I'm a man's man. This is like what the talking points we're giving somebody like, oh, you're a man's man. You guys are talking about lifting heavy things. Like, what?
How much do you lift, Lex? How much? What's your big three? Bench, squat, deadlift.
I like building stuff. I love the idea of hunting. I love fishing.
The idea of hunting. What about actual hunting? Stretching out in the middle of the woods, dirty, muddy, cold. Usually nothing happens. He likes the idea of hunting. Actual hunting, not so much.
Knives and guns and
risk.
Knives and guns. Well, what kind of knives? What kind of guns? Like I love the Spyderco. Does that make me a man's man? I like Spyderco. No, it doesn't even mention it's just knives. What guns? What firearms? What kinds? What classes? What manufacturers? What rounds? What size? There's pistols? Is it rifles? Military? Shotguns? What are you talking about, Lex?
He literally sounds like he's LARPing as a male.
LARPing, definitely LARPing.
I'm pretty sure he's a CIA operative.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's AI generated.
Yes, he's definitely AI simulated.
Yeah, I like women. I like
Here's your
big boobs
talking
and
point
shit like
for
that.
NASA.
Yeah, I like a fat ass.
Really? NASA?
Can you tell I'm a man yet?
Yes, I like lifting
Can't
heavy.
get back to the moon because we lost that technology. You can look that shit up. They actually said that. A real representative from NASA said we lost the technology to go back to the moon, and it's too expensive to recreate it. So we're going to have NASA do it some more. Okay.
Things. I also like knives and guns. Therefore, I'm a man's man, and you better
whatever,
respect
man.
my authority. So as you know by now,
So
this
he's on
video is about
vacation.
Alexei.
He's just on vacation in Mexico. You get to sit on a horse. I can tell because I live in Mexico. I can know what it looks like down here. He's in vacation on Mexico. He just got up on the horse. He wasn't riding it. He just got a picture taken. And he's a man's man with a NASA shirt on. Okay. Right. Look, no muscle definition. He lifts. Really? He lifts everything. I don't see much muscle definition on this guy.
That picture actually goes hard. I'll give him that.
Yeah, real hard.
Lose the NASA shirt, and we're cooking with gas.
Oh, yeah.
More commonly known as Lex Fridman. Lex is a researcher and podcaster that has gained quite a bit of
Is he a
popularity in the last few
researcher?
years.
Really?
Let me point
He's a
something out.
researcher?
When Lex Fridman came onto the scene, everyone referred to him as the MIT professor. Do you guys remember
he
that?
promoted
he's an
himself
MIT
as
professor.
that.
Oh, he teaches at MIT.
Yeah.
He's the smartest genius
That's when I first
on
was
the
like,
planet.
oh, wow, he's a smart guy. Okay. I've known lots of MIT guys. They usually don't sully themselves in low environments like this. They're usually doing some intense shit. Some real shit. That's like you start talking to them, it's just you're listening to gobbledygook because it's all about functions of materials and material design and complex charts of transitions of chemical, like all kinds of shit. You know, like what are you talking about? Like to actually even understand where they're coming from, you'd have to spend 15 hours with them, and where they get into the minutia details about what they're trying to talk about. Not this guy. Oh yeah, I like guns and knives and lifting heavy things. No, anything specific. Any particular style of weightlifting? Are you on the juice? What do you think about juice? I know. I just like hefting living. I'm guy's guy. Okay, whatever.
I don't think he's a teacher. I don't think he ever taught at MIT.
No, he didn't. No.
I'm pretty sure people have dug into that claim
Yeah.
and found it to be completely false.
We're about to get
Maybe
into it.
one time he gave a lecture at MIT.
No.
The
know
NASA
if
shirt
he went.
confirms the CIA connections. But it's not like he's going to campus. I've never seen a Lex Fridman lecture.
No, we would at least see one lecture. If he really was this guy, he'd be talking about like some sort of branch of mathematics, or saying here's what they told us, and here's what the core elements of it are. Like my course on how to program from the ground up, I dumbed down a bunch of the computer science stuff, so you could just go focus in on, like, if there's a first class you want to take, you should take my class on computer science because it'll prepare you for what's coming down the pike and the amount of confusion, like reduce the confusion and craziness around it. Anyway. So usually someone that knows their shit has the ability to dumb it down and to make it comprehensible and understandable to anyone that wants to pay attention enough to understand what's happening. Not this guy. He just spelled, oh no, I'm a professor. Any courses? Anything we can look at? No, just you're a professor. Oh, okay.
I came across Lex through social media clips of him with Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and a lot of other prominent folks. So even before I knew anything about him, he had an aura of legitimacy solely because he associated with widely successful people. But ever since I saw this guy, something just didn't feel right about him. And
Yeah, something's not right.
Why does he look like that? Is that Ivanka? Is that Ivanka Trump?
Why has he got a fist?
Why is he clenching his fist with murderous intent?
I
By the
couldn't
way, these
pinpoint it.
people
So when I
are
was
not
digging
hard to
around
get
on topics for my
photographs
next
with.
video, I
It's
finally
not-
decided to
that's
dive
not
into the Lex
special.
Fridman rabbit hole, and there was a lot of questionable things I found about the guy.
Where did he come
Yeah.
from? Where did he spawn in from, bro?
He's a
This guy came out of
CIA
nowhere
op,
and becomes a
man.
top podcaster. He just copies the Joe
CIA
Rogan aesthetic with like
operation.
zero aura, and people
Yeah.
watch him.
Yes,
Huh?
a lot of people
Look,
watch him. They
I'm
think
sure he's a nice
great.
guy as long as he's not trying to psyop
Total
me.
astroturf, AI,
But-
psyop.
You listen to any podcast. This is me within 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's terrible. In the beginning, it was somewhat reasonable. It was like, who is this guy? And then I was like, this guy's just full of shit, man. He doesn't even know what he's talking about half the time. Like, okay, because I'm an expert in one tiny little field, and he starts to talk about it like he's an expert, and he's like, doesn't know jack shit about what he's talking about. Because to do it, you really have to be in it, and you're not going to be doing a podcast with Joe Rogan.
For example, he portrays himself to be someone more than he actually is. He has
Yeah.
deliberately created an image that does not necessarily correspond to reality, and he is simply misleading people. Many of his fans
Yes,
believe that he is or was a
definitely.
professor at MIT or studied at MIT, which isn't true.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Because he
What the
said
fuck?
it. And people took it at face value because everyone lies on the internet. Look, we come to a stage in our society where pretty much everybody on the internet's lying about something. Pretty much everybody, you can just safely assume without further checking that whatever they're saying is bullshit. Until further confirmation, demonstration, and actual, like, not just showing some document that could be all fake. A real, like, you would be demonstrating your ability and your skill, obviously, not just talking about, oh, I mean, guns and knives, and I love to lift heavy things. Like, no, people are super into that. Get real specific. Get real fucking specific, because they all have a fucking opinion about it. But not this guy. I'm just a man's man.
Filion, oh yeah, he's
Who
a neurosurgeon.
cares?
He just does it in his spare time.
A lot of his academic accolades are exaggerated or misrepresented. He's also a Tesla shill, and more specifically an Elon Musk shill. He was kicked out of the MIT Age Lab group for his non-peer-reviewed report chilling for Tesla's self-driving capabilities.
He's just an Elon
Goodbye,
Glazer. Hold on.
Colin.
My dog is getting sick downstairs. I hear him. Pardon me. Yeah, Sebastian throws up bile sometimes.
But I think his biggest crime is that he's
know
boring
that,
and
but
cringy.
alright.
He robotically asks the same handful of naive questions and gets weirdly
it's
emotional and defensive
ridiculous.
about random topics from time to time. Like, he has this shtick where he talks slow in order to make himself seem more articulate, but all it does is make him
Yeah.
seem disingenuous. So sit tight and maybe buckle in while we discuss all things Lexi. And if you do enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment,
get
and
into
subscribe.
Sure.
If you know anything about Lex, then you know that he always refers to himself
See, right here, the profile pic. Standing in front of a chalkboard doing
Sci-fi. See, this is a sci-fi movie. See, the actual MIT guys, they won't show sci-fi movies. They're not about sci-fi movies. They're actually making the technology. They're actually building the thing. They're doing the thing. It'll be a picture of their IC diagram or picture of their freaking schematic or their source code or some. Not all of it. MIT. You know, person. No, man. This is like fruit. Like, dude, you're trying hard. You're trying way too hard to fool people who don't have much sense to figure out past. Oh, he went to MIT. He must be a real smart guy.
math equations with a Blade Runner 2049 banner.
Yeah,
You couldn't get more dweeb-pilled.
it's totally.
But
goofy.
it's showboating in a way that is not genuine and it's
Yeah.
forced.
Yeah.
It's peak midwit behavior.
Yes.
True
That's
intellectuals and
midwit,
academics
yes,
don't
midwit.
need to pose in front of a chalkboard.
No, they don't do that.
People just understand that they're
they don't
him
do that.
or
they
her.
just have a headshot.
Research scientist MIT. I really want to explore this claim.
Yeah.
as Lex
You're gonna
Fridman,
find
MIT
out.
research
Ain't
scientist,
shit.
at every opportunity. But what he always fails to mention is that he wasn't even educated there or in any way employed by the university. What he did do there was that he taught a January term
Scam.
class, which isn't as impressive when you realize anybody can give presentations at
Scam.
MIT, not
You're
just
talking
professors.
with comedians. You're hanging out with comedians and entertainers. Dude, MIT people don't hang out. They don't do that. They're too busy doing something else. They don't have time for these idiots. They're boring because they're not into the thing that we're into. Like, whatever the thing is that real MIT people are into, they don't hang out with these people, man. I've been around Joe Rogan. I did a movie with him. It was okay, but he's not like, oh my God, it's Joe Rogan. It's like, he's kind of just a regular dude with opinions. He's not. There's a headlock video of me talking to Joe about illegal immigration. He didn't know anything about that the border was wide open. He thought you all had to go through airports. These people don't know much, man. And to just because they're, I'm MIT, I'm NASA. It's like people like midwits get really impressed by this shit. It's like, stop.
January term class. What is that, like 6 weeks? I remember term classes. They were like expedited little side quests.
Yeah,
The January
summer
term class is closer to a book
classes.
club. Students have the option of taking one class that interests them during this term or staying home and coming back for the spring semester. It's basically a free-form
I don't even think it's 6 weeks. I'm pretty sure it's 2 weeks.
for knowledge sharing. During that period, anyone can put together a call, and anyone who wishes to attend, MIT affiliated or not, can attend. Oh, and it's all not for credit. Here's a quote from an actual person
Anyone can
Of
attend.
course. Of
from
course,
MIT. It
anyone
states,
can
I've come across a
attend,
handful
not
of
for
people in the last few
credit.
years that figured out how easy it is to become vaguely affiliated with MIT. Then they use the university email and some spin to their affiliation, and all of a sudden they've got a bunch of new opportunities, and it only builds from there. People within academic circles will know the difference, but outside, not necessarily. Lex
Clout.
definitely raises some red flags on this
Clout
front. The dude randomly requested me on LinkedIn 4 or 5 years ago, and I saw we had a lot of MIT mutual
Hyperbole.
connections. At the time, he was teaching. It's not difficult at all to organize a January term class. Many undergraduates even do
Trying
this,
to
but most don't
fool
use it to claim that
people
they're a
who are
lecturer at
easily
MIT.
fooled.
Lex actually
Oh,
studied
wow,
at Drexel
that's great.
University,
You
which is a
fooled
good
bunch of people. Wow.
Bro, just you went to college in Philadelphia,
Oh my God,
bro.
this guy again.
lower-ranked university. His father is also a professor there, but he never mentions Drexel, and if you bring it up in his sub and ask him about it, you get banned.
Like Drexel's a good school.
Drexel's all right, man, but why is he gonna be MIT? I'm MIT. You try to get MIT and they let you in. Maybe because you're full of shit. Maybe because you don't need to be anywhere near science where people's lives might be at stake. You want to go hang out with comedians instead. Yeah, you're not a serious person. So only serious people get involved with MIT. In a serious, like it's a serious place, man. You are having people's lives in your hand. This guy does not deserve it. Because he's all trying to get the clout and the music, and I don't know, I'm a smart guy, Python.
I have some friends that went there. Their computer science and engineering program is pretty competitive.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not MIT, and this guy's like, I gotta be MIT, because that's the most impressive. It's like, yeah, but dude, anyone that went to MIT can look through your shit and go like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Who is this guy? You're doing podcasting instead of using your degree to improve the plight of humanity with science? No, we're going to podcast with some comedians. That's so much better use of my time since I went to MIT.
So, like, what are you ashamed of? Just say you went to Drexel. Who gives a fuck? That's a good school.
Well, it's because...
No, I'd rather be referred to as a adjunct professor for a 2-week
January
January
this is the AI
book club at MIT. That's like me watching a Harvard lecture for free and being like, yeah, I was educated at Harvard.
PSYOP.
Yeah, I got my degree at Harvard.
For midwits.
You will also get banned if you constructively criticize him or any of his guests. He is a research scientist at MIT, but it is an unpaid position, and he has never been a professor.
Oh, is he really a research scientist? Is that what he is? He's doing research while he plays the music on his guitar and does interviews comedians. That's the science he's researching? Yeah, right.
These shots. This is scary as fuck. Why does he have such dead, soulless eyes?
Because he sold his soul for
and
the
not
things
from like
he
a
knows
physical perspective, but from like a spiritual perspective. Like he doesn't have to make this face.
He knows he's lying. And he's
he just be
fooling
normal.
you.
He just smile.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna get one over.
He purposefully
on you
allows a
with
misconception to propagate because it benefits him to have people assume his science is better than it is. Another fun tidbit is that if you look at his LinkedIn profile, he has math functions in the back, which seems to be a theme. Like here's him standing in front of a classroom again with some math functions on the blackboard. But here's the thing.
Okay, what is it? These functions have anything to do with anything? Did he write them? Is he explaining them? Does he have a class about? Nope. Just I'm the best ever because I went to NASA and I got MIT research. Like, really? And what does that really mean? Oh, it means I went to a weekend course. Didn't you have to be in the school to be enrolled to just associate with it? Oh, is this more scamming? Oh, okay, let's keep going.
Those functions have nothing.
This is a very personal critique. But I went to an all-boys Catholic school, ran by brothers,
All right.
and their garb was this outfit.
Yeah.
The
Blues
black
Brothers.
suit and tie
Yeah,
every
Blues
day.
Brothers. They want to be
for
Blues
no reason.
Brothers. No,
Dripped up like this.
Because they're trying to be Blues Brothers, Dung Dong. It was from this stupid movie from the 70s, which I love, by the way. It's a super great movie. But he's trying to like just like that. That's all it is. Nothing more than that. That's all it is.
To teach the most graham cracker, boring fucking lessons.
Yeah, of
To do with the
course.
class that he's teaching. The things on the blackboard were there from another class before his, and I know this because you can watch some of his lectures on his YouTube channel. But he keeps the math and purposefully includes them whenever he can to make himself seem smarter than he actually is. Even his LinkedIn page is misleading. He also claims on LinkedIn
guys that are into like trying to make themselves look smarter don't actually explain the things that are the mathematical formulas on the book. Because the mathematical formulas refer to something else completely. You have to. It's super detailed. These guys are like, no, I'm MIT. That's amazing. I'm super genius. You should know me. I know Joe Rogan. He's a comedian. So.
that he worked at Google for 1 year. It reads Google Researcher 2014 to 2015. However, the truth is that he worked there as a visiting researcher for less than 4 months. In 2019, Lex Fridman released a study in which he claimed that contrary to a mountain of literature about human-machine interaction, drivers using autopilot remain vigilant and attentive.
You know what? I'm realizing that he is the parody of academia. Like, higher education has its flaws. And any doctorate student will tell you that. But he's kind of just abusing the system. Realizing that
he's totally abusing
society
it for
places weight
clout.
on these institutions.
There's only a certain period of time, small period of time, from the time the internet came on and everyone could just put anything out there. Most midwits aren't going to look into it. To the point now where it's like, oh, wait a second. These guys are all lying about everything. They don't know shit about shit. It's becoming easier and easier to see, and these people are going to be like, oh my God, my life is about to be over. Yeah, your shit's about to be exposed, ding dong. Stop doing it. Stop trying to clout chase.
No matter how big or small your contribution is, and if you can get yourself on a paper, you can be considered a researcher. He's glazing the system.
For this next part, I'll be referencing an Insider article written by Julia Black, as it does well to capture the full picture of what happened and has some great resources to back it up. The article states, though Fridman has touted affiliations with MIT and Google, AI and machine learning experts who spoke with Insider said Fridman lacks the publications, citations, and conference appearances required to be taken seriously in the hyper-competitive world of
What are his credentials?
Look, man, you can't do a podcast and do this kind of shit. Research science. If you're doing research science, that's it. And you're inside of a building, inside of some back down the basement somewhere in some back office, scrambling and trying to get funding and doing your research, and you're not doing these podcasts with comedians like Joe Rogan. The fact that he's on these things gives evidence that maybe Joe Rogan's all kayfabe too, man. Maybe that shit's all intelligence services as well.
I don't even know. I don't even know what he studied. Who is this guy? We know nothing about him.
Academia. When AI professionals on Twitter challenged Fridman's research methods for the Tesla study, he blocked them en masse. Soon after the study was published, Fridman moved his prestige.
Block them. Don't explain. Don't say, hey, man, look at my shit over here. Look at this over here. This is my grades. This is my stuff. No, block them. That's just another nail in the coffin, man. Just more evidence. He's a total fraud. So, just more evidence. Like, you, instead of addressing it and having like a bullet page, like he's such a maven on the technology, just put a page up all the stuff. Here it is. and just erase the stuff out that's like you don't want people to see. And like, here's my grade. Here's the professor. Here's an interview with the professors I have. Here I am talking to my professors. Did I go to class? Yes, every day you're in class. You're doing all the science. You're doing all the math. There's none of that. Nothing. Just block them. Oh, okay. So you're real legitimate there, Lex.
Prestigious MIT lab to an unpaid research role. A former H lab staffer recalled Fridman telling him that he wanted to amass a giant amount of followers. Philip Pekniewski, a computer vision and AI researcher who became one of Fridman's most vocal critics, said it was clear from the very beginning that he was positioning himself to become one of the celebrities in the space. The MIT seal of approval was likely enormously valuable to Tesla. Its autopilot feature.
Because the midwits are like, oh, I watch all the Netflix series. Now I want to see a guy that says he's doing science with autopilot cars. It's like, dude, no. No, look at how bad these autopilot cars are. It's like, they're terrible. So your research sucks, Lex. If you aren't even doing research at all, what are you talking about? Well, the fact that humans are paying attention makes the humans pay attention more. It's like, what are you talking about, man? You're so full of shit. It's beyond crazy that anyone even follows you at all. I mean, but again, most people are total midwits and they fall for anything. Oh, it's like the sci-fi thing I saw on Netflix series that I binged the last week. That showed me how what the future was going to be, even though I have no idea how this shit works and don't care. But this guy from MIT, he's real smart. He's a real cool guy because he's hanging out with Joe Rogan.
Had come under intense scrutiny over several widely publicized fatal.
He's a byproduct of ChatGPT. Dude, it's just scary that we have no information on this man.
Yes, we
Why
do.
are you ashamed of the college you went to?
The lack of information is the information. That's what a lot of stuff is. The lack of the information around it, the fact that we can't verify, is the verification that they are full of shit. Look, man, you would have positive verifications on things. Like all the people who really went to MIT, all their credentials are all there. They all talk to the professors after they've graduated for years and years. Are all together. Look, man, it's a tight network. It's a brotherhood of people who have been given have been allowed to take people's lives in their hands by actually having to put their shit on the line professionally. And have gone through the gauntlet that says, okay, you might know what you're talking about here, at least to let you in the ground floor, and we'll see how you go from here. Oh, I'm gonna clout chase and we'll get on Rogan.
Your alma mater.
No.
Dude, you can ask me any question. I will be honest with you about my past. Like, what are you hiding from? Why are you trying to craft the illusion that you're somebody that you're not?
Because he wants the clout. He thinks that he's lacking something inside of himself. That he feels that he needs the love of everyone. He needs to have a large group of people somehow, somewhere out there, because he's got such a deficit inside his hole. That's what's the glazed look on his eyes. He's got such a deficit in his heart that he needs to say, "I'm the best that ever was," even though you don't demonstrate any of it. Just claim it. And if you are the best that ever was, you should have some evidence of it, some programs, some software, something. Nothing. He doesn't show anything. All he does is get on the computer. I'm the best AI researcher that ever lived with NASA. Yeah. It's like, stop, guy. You're not who you say you are. You're not all these things. Even just one of these things is incredible. And he's all of them. Come on. And no evidence. Oh, okay. Just block you. Drexel? You just didn't mention, hey, Drexel? If it blocks you, guess what? Didn't go to MIT.
Involving Tesla vehicles. The company was hit with a class action lawsuit that described autopilot as...
Why care who he is, just another podcaster? Because he positions himself as somebody of authority.
Yeah,
So-
he promotes all this stuff out like he's like the smart guy, and people in midwits go, Lex Fridman said. Lex Fridman said. No, he didn't. He made all that shit up. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about at all. He's shilling for somebody else. That we don't fully understand the reasoning, but we can see what the directions he leads you to what he's trying to do. And his time in the sun's almost over. But this is like he's gonna put out all the stops.
Somebody of esteem, somebody of value. But when you break it down, there's nothing there. Now, you can give him props if you like his podcasting style, but I would have to question your intelligence because it's the most milquetoast. Like, I don't want to keep saying boring, but like it's bone dry.
Yeah, because
hey, what's up, guys? He doesn't even say, hey, what's up, guys? It's like
his lies only go
essentially
so
unusable
far.
and-
Then you have to start demonstrating some of this stuff, and he can't because it's a lie. That's why it's not. It's not very difficult. It's like, well, why would he lie? He's like, well, he's got funding, he's got advertisers, he's getting on Rogan, he's making friends with all the stars, he's hanging out with the Trumps. Whoa, why would he lie?
demonstrably dangerous. But Musk insisted that his technology did not require human intervention, going so far as to brand the feature autopilot instead of copilot. Academics in AI began to pick apart the study's methodology. They criticized the small sample size and suggested the participants likely performed
P-hacked the shit out of it? Great.
differently because...
Oh, wow, that's not cheating. Oh, look into the details. Oh, wow, look, P-hacking. Oh, who would have thunk it?
they knew they were being observed, a phenomenon known as the Hawthorne effect. Missy Cummings, a former MIT professor who served as a senior advisor for safety at the
Hawthorne
National
effect. Come on, did you like fix the sample size, or did you modify it, or did you what is it called? Did you factor in for that? No, just the Hawthorne effect. Just like that's fine. That's scientific.
Highway Traffic Safety Administration has called the report deeply flawed.
MIT,
What happens is people like
NASA.
Elon Musk take this and then try to make a big deal about it and say, I've got science on my side. I personally do not consider Lex serious
Science
research.
is on his side, really. Verify all claims. Reproducible. Science is on my side. Oh, is it because you said the science? Is that science is on your side? Is that how it is? I'd say science is not on your side. I don't think you don't. I think Mr. Fridman. I don't think you even know what science is. You haven't even hit upside the head with a not being able to deny if it exists or not. Falsifiable. That's a falsifiability. Do you ever heard of that? Nope, never heard of it. Oh, okay. Just block them. Block them. Mention Drexler.
Bo Normie who glazed the right person. It's pretty accurate.
Richard Cumming recently told Insider. When Anima Anand Kumar, a well-known AI expert, tweeted in 2019 that Fridman
I just read ahead on this paragraph. It's something that you'll see on Twitter all the time. He might hold the record for like blocking the most people on Twitter. You say one thing about him, you're blocked.
He's such a
Instantly.
liar. He's just this is more evidence. More just put on the pile. And anyone that acts like this is the same shit. It's always the same shit. It's never not the same shit. Look, if it's an amazing claim and they are who they are, they'll be able to easily demonstrate any of these things, but they don't because it's fucking bullshit.
submit his work for peer review before seeking press coverage, Fridman blocked her and many of her colleagues, some of whom had never even engaged in the discussion. Fridman did not respond to several interview requests and requests for comment. He told historian Dan Carlin during one episode, "Journalists annoy the hell out of me." So I understand from Putin's perspective that journalism.
Yeah, I wonder why they annoy the hell out of him. Because they asked him to verify some of your shit. Oh, I don't want to verify my shit. I want to keep my clout so I can get on Rogan again and hang out with the Trumps.
Be seen as the enemy of the state. Many of Friedman's peers had another reason to be suspicious of the study. Friedman's admiration for Tesla CEO was well
Oh,
documented.
enemy of the state. Wow, which state? The state of mind of Lex Fridman. I'm a researcher at MIT. Oh, everybody knows that.
He was an
Even
active
Rogan knows that.
participant in
He's about to block me? Dude, I'm probably fucking blocked already. He's probably watching this right now.
Yeah, of course.
Tesla fan forums. He'd been photographed with Musk's sporting company Flamethrower, and in a 2018 tweet that's since been deleted, he asked Musk to collaborate on a fully autonomous cross-country drive. Musk had even tweeted about Friedman's Tesla-friendly research in the past. One former MIT colleague of Friedman said many people in their field believe that being closely
Oh
associated.
yeah, so he's clout chasing after Musk to do a paper that shows his stuff in the Great Lights, so he can do a cross-country road trip with Musk, as if Musk has nothing else to do. These guys are all fake. Musk is even showing signs of being a little bit on the fake side, or mostly on the fake side with his video game. I'm the #1 video game player. Really? How are you able to run SpaceX, Tesla, Doge, and play video games? Something's not adding up, man. Each one of those things takes a full time. Are you even doing any stuff? Are you just a simulated? Who's actually there? What is this? No. He's running spaceships. He's making electric cars that are autonomous. He's running all these companies. He's got billions of dollars. He's running X, and he's tweeting, and he's the #1 video game player.
With Musk could be a career boon. Lex was relatively excited to get in touch with Elon Musk and get into his good graces, said the former colleague, who asked to remain anonymous to avoid professional repercussions. It's fair to say that his plan worked because 2 weeks after
Johnny Harris solos and would use his bones as toothpicks. I agree. Johnny Harris is washing Lex Fridman in a cage match.
releasing the study, he got invited to do a podcast with Elon Musk and then later went
No, he does do one martial art, though, and I'll let you take a hint which one it is. A stab in the dark. You think he's a striker?
on to be invited to Joe Rogan. Since then, his podcast has really boomed, so his career definitely benefited, but his academic integrity not
Jiu-jitsu, that is correct.
so much, because he was kicked out of the MIT HVAC
Hugging
group
guys, nuts in the face. Oh yeah, it's a great sport. Wonderful sport.
after his non-peer-reviewed report shilling for Tesla's self-driving capability. A
Hugging guys all day, sweaty guys. Don't get ringworm.
trend that I noticed on Lex's podcast is how much he really talks about Elon. He will bring up Elon at the most random times and ask his guests to
He's
ask
like
questions.
gay. He's gay lover. He's ready to go. He's ready to get greased up for Elon. Lex Fridman. Oh my god.
About Elon. Like, here's a compilation I made of him saying Elon's name for 1 minute straight.
Guy named Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. It's like rolling off the tongue, becoming something completely different. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Is this guy real?
No.
Is he a fucking hologram?
No, he's definitely a hologram.
This is not. This is not real life.
Musk.
get
Elon.
In his name. I lost too many brain cells compiling that and couldn't be bothered to go through the rest of his podcast. But it's safe to say that he's an Elon groupie. And if you still don't believe me, here's him asking his guests about how much they also love
Because
Elon.
they're all in the same, like, I'm a BJJ, and I'm a video gamer, and I like to pontificate about the AI, and I like to act like I was involved with it. It's like, no, you're not involved with it, man. You're just a fucking tool for something to fool people into thinking this shit's fucking real.
Ask, what do you admire most about
It's gonna solve the economy.
Elon? Okay, you've talked to Elon quite a bit. You've written bosses. You've written about.
It's his Neuralink telling him
Come
to
on.
do something for the people that want to listen to smart people.
Yeah.
And this is their idea of their messiah.
Right.
But it takes
It's the people who've been told they're smart. If they listen to these smart people who've been said that they're smart, but when you look into it, past when the podcast is over, let's go peek around a little bit. Oh, it's all fake. Oh wow, it's all fake. Wow, it's super popular and fake. Wow, I wonder who might be involved with creating something fake that's super popular to control people who are kind of midwittery and need to be told what to do, that they're smart. Who would be possibly involved with creating such a thing for midwits to be told that they're smart and to be controlled completely and give up their will to Lex Fridman? Who would possibly be involved? Who would want to possibly...
just like 3 seconds of critical thinking to realize that he's a false prophet.
Prophet?
With
He's just
Elon.
a
What-
false
he's literally-
guy.
He's just a dude that went to Drexel.
Yeah, he's just a dude who went to Drexel. What?
He doesn't have any academic papers.
No.
And the one that he uses to substantiate his intellect is glazing Elon's Tesla autopilot.
Yeah.
Think about that. I swear I would not be surprised if
It's just a
Elon
grifter,
pays him
man.
for the glaze.
No. It's just the security services trying to get access to him and get access to this audience. They put a bunch of people up, man. I'd be surprised if like 30% of the people we follow are just intelligence assets.
What makes him so successful?
Project Mockingbird never stopped. If you don't know what that is, you might want to look it up.
His style of thinking, his ambition, his dreams, his the people he connects with, the kind of problems he tackles. Is there kind of comments you
I thought he was telling people he was an active researcher at MIT for a long time. Well, as we just learned, he was a temporary January session professor for a class, which, like, the bar is so low
professor?
to begin with.
He
And then he was kicked out.
professor for a class.
can make
and
about
then
what makes him
they kicked
special?
out.
What do you think about Elon as an engineering leader? Having to experience him in the most chaotic of spaces, I would say. Easy. Can you psychoanalyze Elon in that aspect? Like, is it just he can't help it? He must see the change that he hopes for in the world.
Dude, I would rather listen to a podcast from an MIT janitor. That would be based. That would be
Yeah.
cool. I bet the guy has stories for days. I bet he has a personality.
Yeah.
It's embodying everything that I dislike
Yeah.
because it's so distasteful
It's just so
to present yourself
plastic
as something that you're not,
empty
and then reap the
and
benefits of it
vapid and-
from psyoping the masses, and then just like
Yeah,
silencing
totally
all the critics.
psyoping. So who would possibly be involved with psyoping the masses? Ever heard of MK Ultra? Who was behind that? I wonder who.
It satirizes our culture. It's like the Iman Gaji approach. Fake it till you make it.
Yes, fake it till you make
How do we
it.
get more Elons? What do you
Oh my
admire in the name of
God.
love about Elon
We
Musk?
don't need any more Elons. Elon's not even doing that shit. Why the fuck is this guy's super Elon fanboy? Holy crap. And even just more evidence. It's CIA operations, MK Ultra. You can safely assume he's trying to fuck with you.
What do you admire in the name of love about Elon Musk? You can tell he loves all the perks of being BFFs with Elon and will chill so fucking hard to not lose them. All in all, Lex Fridman just comes off as very fake to me. He attempts to cultivate the image of an intellectual warrior.
Look at all these guys. These guys are all fake. Rogan, he was a real at one point, but I think he's been taken over as well. He's for your country. You support your country, right? You want your country to survive, right?
/philosopher/poet, but in the end, he fails at all of them. He misrepresents his role at MIT to make himself sound more accomplished than he really is. He faked his paper on driver inattentiveness and self-driving cars to curry favor with Musk. He's overwhelmingly dull, but is he a fraud? I guess it's up to you to decide, and I'd like to hear it. Let me know down in the comments what you
Yeah,
think.
he's fraudulent.
And before I sign off, here's a couple more excerpts from the Insider article that I felt were worth sharing. An AI expert who knows Friedman thought that perhaps the podcast host abandoned academic rigor in pursuit of fame. It's almost as if he sold his academic soul to get
Oh,
an
duh, really? You got rid of academic? I don't think he ever had any academic rigor. He's just going after fame, man. He knows all the buttons. So the people who he's working with know all the touch points to get him up to the top of the rankings, and they all have friends over there that pushes stuff forward. Come on, man.
interview with Musk, the expert said. Another quote states, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the mathematical statistician known for writing the book The Black Swan, blasted Friedman on Twitter in January, sending mail with heading, quick note from MIT, when podcast has nothing to do with MIT is shoddy as hell, Taleb tweeted. Taleb said he turned down 10 invitations from Friedman to appear on his podcast. I have been convinced that there is something that is not solid about the person, Taleb told
Oh,
Insider.
it's something, really? Your spidey senses up. All right, I've had enough of this. This thing is pretty obvious what it is. And, yeah, so if you want to watch the rest of it, you go ahead, and I will talk to you later.